From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Our top stories this week. The head of Global Energy Equipment Group, Alstom Power, talks to us about biomass co-firing prospects in South Africa and elsewhere. JSE-listed coal miner Keaton Energy eyes a high metallurgical coal profit. And the 12 billion rand Triangle Core Fund is launched. The use of biomass co-firing in South Africa's existing coal-fired power stations could potentially help the country reduce its carbon dioxide emissions. Alstom Power President Philippe Joubert spoke with Creamer Media's Terence Creamer about the prospects for co-firing.
We have recently concluded what is the biggest biomass plant in the world, a 4 gigawatt plant in UK, where we have added 10% of this in biomass. Contrarily to the 100% biomass plants, this is obtaining the same result in terms of decreasing the CO2, but is much more efficient because you use the whole infrastructure of a big plant, not a very small plant. So in terms of logistic, control of the fuel, control of the quality, and general efficiency of the system, you are reaching very high level. This is what we are doing, and I know that now South Africa market and Eskom are thinking about using this system, and we are talking with Eskom currently about using this system in the existing base. You have biomass from crops, you have biomass from wood, which is normally the most used one, but you have rice in some area, sugarcane in Brazil, and you have plenty of solutions.
And how do you get it into the correct format to use?
You have to treat the fuel, you have to dry it normally, or to put it in the form of pellets for some of them. And more, what is very important, and what if you take together this addition of biomass and the carbon capture that I've just talked about, you are the only solution in the world known today which is a negative CO2 footprint plants, which is if you use biomass plus carbon capture, you actually reduce the CO2 which has been sent in the atmosphere over the years.
Explain how that happens.
Because the biomass to be in this formation is using the CO2, and when you burn this biomass and capture the CO2 to put it back into the ground, 2,000 meters, the overall equation of this system is the absorption of the CO2 of the atmosphere and to put back the CO2 under the ground.
Coal mining company Keaton Energy is eyeing a diversified commercial mix from its Van Gaatfontein project. Jonathan Fourie reports.
First coal from the Van Gaatfontein project is expected in November this year, with first delivery to Eskom in April 2011. Managing Director Paul Miller explains why the project is described as the right assets at the right time.
To develop a project within our financial capability that services the domestic market where there's robust demand for the 5-seam coal and an Eskom contract makes it the right time for us to develop the asset. I would not like to have been developing an export project over the last 3 years.
He adds that the company has developed an interesting commercial strategy.
Obviously, it's high volume, low value Eskom coal and low volume, high value 5-seam coal. So from a volume point of view, 200,000 tonnes a month of Eskom coal, 30,000 tonnes a month of 5-seam coal. From a revenue point of view, much more even split.
Old Mutual Investment Group Property Investments, or OMIGPI, has launched a 12 billion rand Triangle Core Fund, scheduled to be listed in mid-2011. Dennis Ndaba has more.
OMIGPI believes that this fund will assist in assessing additional capital sources while ensuring optimal investment performance in a well-diversified quality portfolio. The Triangular Core Fund will be the third largest by value in the JSE's listed property sector, with Redefined second with a market capitalization of 21 billion and Growthpoint Properties first with about 24 billion rands. The fund will comprise a mix of 40 prime retail, industrial and office properties but is focused primarily on the retail sector.
The Triangle Core Fund has been in existence now for a number of years. So it owns existing properties, the likes of Gateway in Mhlanga, Durban, Mellon Park in Pretoria, Cavendish in Cape Town. So all that's happening is we are listing a 12 billion rand portfolio. We are raising 5 billion rands. And clearly very excited about the prospects here. Well, firstly, I suppose it employs a lot of people because there are about 6,000 tenants that trade in our properties. And clearly those tenants also employ a number of people that work for them. I mean, Gateway on its own attracts about 2 million visitors per month, so that's about a foot count of just under 25 million. So it touches a huge part of our portfolio. I mean, they are dominant properties that are well known, well established, and have been creating value for a number of decades now.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insights into South Africa's real economy.